Auto Web. Welcome to the Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast, the #1 resource for automotive sales professionals, managers, and owners to learn how to make money, accumulate wealth, and to all out ball out in the auto industry. And now your hosts, Sean V. Bradley and L.A. Williams.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Auto Web.
Hey everybody, this is Sean V. Bradley, the president of Dealer Synergy. Wow, Dealer Synergy, and the creator of the Millionaire Car Salesman Group. And I got a very special guest, my friend, my man here, Mr. Dee Penn.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Y'all better know.
There you go, the Millionaire Car Salesman. So getting right into it, Dee, what's kind of dope is that you are literally a true tribesman of the Millionaire Car Salesman Group. So before we get into your background, how did you get into the whole Millionaire Car Salesman, tribe, and talk to us about how you found us and what value you got from us?
Oh, wow, man, it was amazing. So when I first got started in the automotive industry, right, like any typical salesperson or sales professional, you try to find a way not to sink or swim. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to figure out what can you do? Like someone learning how to walk, or someone going to the store or getting your driver's license for the first time. So the first thing I did was, you'd be shocked at this, Sean. I actually went on Facebook because, that social media is, where it's at right now. And I actually typed how to be a car salesman. And because the popularity of the group and how big it is, that was the first thing I saw. So I filled out the survey and then I joined. I was accepted by you personally, so that was kind of cool.
No, listen, it is my pleasure, and we are ranked as the #1 Facebook group in the entire automotive industry, and that's coming from Facebook. You know what I mean? It's pretty crazy, but we're sitting on almost 22,000 people. So talk to us what type of skills you learn, and literally just I want you to freestyle a little bit. How did it improve your game specifically?
Oh yeah, so in the group, it's nice because it makes you think about Google, right? So in the group, you can utilize the search function, and sometimes when I'm looking for best practices or have someone actually been through this situation type scenario, I can type it in the search function in the group. Also in the group is kind of cool because we got guides. So in under the banner in the group is actually a guide section. And the guide section actually take you step by step and processes, just learning how to, interact with a customer, or, the go-tos in the dealership. So it's crazy how you can just network. You can make a lot of professional friends across the United States. You can parlay ideas. You can follow them and network with them on their personal pages and see how they're getting it done, and then take tips from them and create your own. And get feedback too. It's important to get feedback from your friends as well.
So let's go back to this. So first you were just searching the search bar for on Facebook, how to sell cars. And then the Millionaire Car Salesman thing popped up. And then in it, a lot of people don't realize, in the Millionaire Car Salesman Group, it's not just a group, a random group. It's actually classified as a social learning group, which is what people, how there's different types of profiles, Dee, for Facebook, you have a business page, you got a personal page. Well, in a group, there are special types of groups. And the one that we have, our format, is called a social learning group. So it's got certain technology. It's got mentor software. It's almost like Match.com or Tinder, if you will, but professionally for mentors and mentees. So there's this whole matching system for mentors, mentees that's in there completely for free. And then what you're talking about, the guides they used to be called chapters. And so because there's so much content in there, we're sitting on almost 22,000 high level members. So inside the group, there's these chapters. Okay. And so what I'm going to do is this, I'm going to actually share my screen. Now, for the people that are listening to this in the podcast, you might not be able to see this. So I'm going to walk you through this. So what you're seeing is I'm going to the Millionaire Car Salesman Group right now. And in the Millionaire Car Salesman Group, what I'm going to do is I was in the members section. I'm going to go to the homepage of the Millionaire Car Salesman Group, D, and you're going to see my screen. So as soon as it comes up, what you're going to see right here is on the top, okay, there's the mentorship. So in the mentorship, it gives you everything, everything from mentors, seeking mentors, lifetime pairs, active pairs, unpaired members. And then this is how you do is you can find a mentor. Like, look at these people who have already put themselves here. I love our group, D, because so many people have registered to be a mentor or be a mentee, and they could just start the conversation here and boom, you could just connect with these people. This is amazing. This is for free. And then, what we have is these guides. And then the chapters that are in these guides, new to the automotive industry, then brah. So that's the chapter, that's like a section. So if you're new to the automotive industry, then what it does, it's all these posts about social media, standard operating procedures like processes, motivation, inspiration, OEMs, original equipment manufacturers, the franchises, right? Everything you know about appointments, success stories, and raving fans of the Millionaire Car Salesman Group. Do you need to be in that one, right? Bradley On Demand is the best training platform for your dealership. How to handle price anywhere, any situation. Shame on you, car gurus. How and where to generate referrals and prospects. And I could go on and on and on, but there's like 50 different chapters that are in here. So this is a free resource. Now, Dee, as a salesperson, your dealership really didn't invest into training and to development. So you were just on your own, just trying to, not just survive, but trying to mold your career. Am I correct?
Correct. And using these guides, it kind of gave me a stepping stone and a path to kind of gauge myself and seek more information in my everyday sales pro life. So I kind of used, because I was green, as they call it, new to the automotive industry, I kind of took the best practices I had from the retail world that I came from and try to find them in the automotive world, the automotive industry, and then looked at that and made a plan for myself. And from there, it just took off.
Okay, so can you give us some not tips, but some examples of what tips did you get that changed? Because you said that you went from being, average to being a 20 plus person hitting over 25 units, but more importantly, crushing the gross. And then you specialize in customer experience. So, but just give us a couple nuggets that you got from the group that helped you elevate your game.
Yeah, sure. So a couple of things, that I learned is just clocking in, right? And I know that sounds like cheesy, but let me tell you what clocking means. Being present, right? So when you get to work, outside world stays outside the door. And when you get to work, you hear the work. Like you clock in, you walk the lot. That was one of the biggest things. It took me a while to understand that, but I walked the inventory from the previous night if I didn't close. I asked questions to our used car director, like, hey, what came in, what was traded, just being abreast on everything that you need to know, right, to get your day by. Follow up on your previous to-dos I didn't get to do the day before. So I made sure that I made a list before I left work at night that's top of mind first thing in the morning before my day actually got started, because I want to make sure I follow up with the customers. That was one of the biggest things I learned in the group is how to follow up and what does follow up mean. And then from there, it was just planning out my day. Now, not an expert at planning. I'm still engineering that for myself. However, you got to put one foot in front of the other and you got to try. So I'm still trying to find my way in that, but I can't say for what I've been doing thus far has been helping me.
Okay, so now let's talk about training, right? I personally believe that the industry is massively shot with training because, and here's my opinion, but I want to just ask your opinion. And first of all, you're not a client. You know what I mean? Like your dealership doesn't pay me any money. They don't do anything or what have you.
Actually, no dealership I work for.
Yeah, no dealership has had us or whatever. So on the other side, like I just been giving you free stuff. Like, you know, I given you
Right.
free websites, free training, free time. So I want
Right.
everybody to be clear. This is not like a bribe, like right or wrong. Like you've never,
No.
I've never received a check from you. I've just helped you out for the kindness of my heart. And the reason why I've done this is because there's a reason why our industry has a 70 to 80% attrition ratio. I mean, if you think about it, that's cataclysmic. That's like bubonic plague of just craziness. Like when you have that much turnover and that much chaos, and then you got to ask yourself why. And it's a couple of reasons. One, did we hire them dead or kill them after we got them? I love that quote. You know what I mean? That one of my competitors uses, so I'm hijacking it. Is that, do we hire the wrong person or do we get the right person? But like you're obviously a successful person at 20, 25 cars a month and stupid grosses. It's awesome. But if they don't train you, if they don't develop you, if they don't onboard you, if they don't help you with personal development, professional development, team building, you know, again, you're left on your own to try to fit both, figure it the fudge out. You know what I'm saying? So again, for me, it doesn't make sense how most dealers don't invest. But can you just share, you don't have to put anybody on blast, but like, obviously, if you're searching on Facebook in search bars, how to sell cars, that tells me that you weren't getting the training. So can you talk about that from your opinion, from the front lines? How bad is a lot of dealers with the lack of training, lack of support, lack of personal development? Explain.
Well, I can kind of explain. So my background, I come from the retail world before I got into the automotive world. And in the retail, you know, everything is structured, right? From the time you get hired to the time that you get to your next level step. When I got into the automotive world, it was kind of like, you get your what I call your second man knowledge, and everybody has a different version of that. So it's nothing that's consistent because of course every brand is different. However, you know, it's just not like where I came from, where everything was structured, right? So it left me to be like, you know what, I want to be successful. Either I'm just going to hate this job, and this was like the worst decision I ever made for my life. But based off the research, I saw that it was very prosperous. So I'm like, okay, I need to figure this out. So what I do, I start looking for resources. And that's probably because of the fact of my background previous to the automotive world. But when it comes to the training, as you were speaking, it is a lack in training across our industry. You see a lot of people that, you know, are scared. You know, people don't understand because they look at the automotive world as just a laid back, you know, I can tell you this, that I had a peer that just started working with us, and they was like, yeah, I don't do no work. And they come from like, you know, the restaurant field. So it's like, but you have to invest in yourself is very important. However, it's always great to have a support system too. And because that's what I feel like we're lacking.
Man, I don't even know where to begin on this. So let's get into this. Tell us about you, about like how did you get into car sales? What was that like? We heard a little bit of like how you went on the group and took your career to the next level, but I want to hear a little bit about your origin story. Tell us how you got into the automotive industry and what it was like, and then tell us what your success is.
Cool. So getting into the automotive world, right? So when I relocated from Richmond, Virginia, down here with my partner, I was like, you know what? I'm going to do something different. And it was funny. So the dealership that I started working for, so I don't know if, you know, a lot of dealerships send out that marketing with the key, like, hey, I'm going to give you this key. You come spin the wheel. You know, you come to the dealership and see if you can win a car. So we thought it was a cheesy joke. So every time we used to get the key, I'll just go to the dealership like, hey, I got this key. I won a couple prizes. I did end up buying a car, and then, but I had a crappy experience, right? And I'm a big person on customer experience. So the cool thing I look at it is, that key marketing was what got me into this business. I didn't know that it was going to be the key to the career that I actually fall in love with. And from there, after, like I said, growing in the group and stuff like that, I finally found where I call home in my soul. Because in the automotive world, it's amazing because you get to meet. That's the only job that I feel like, or career that I feel like I can wake up every day and don't know how my day is going to go. And that's exciting for me because a lot of people work 9 to 5s and they actually like can anticipate how their day is going to go hour by hour, minute by minute. But in the automotive world, we get to have the beauty of waking up every morning and getting to see beautiful people and help people get to their next level and to their next goal. Me, myself, personally, I am transgender. So, and just for individuals that don't know exactly, what that is, transgender is someone that just basically do not identify what they are at birth. They have their own expression of their identity.
Did you know
Which can be if you're
40%
born
of service
female,
calls go to voicemail or hang
identify as a
up?
male.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system.
How many times does it take for your customers to connect with someone at your
You just want to be
store?
yourself.
World may
So,
never know.
Unless you have
this
call
industry is
source,
kinda
call source
cool
customers
because
connect
in the
with
automotive world,
96% of
as
their
the world
clients'
is
calls
changing,
and
this is one of the
convert over
industries I do say
85%
evolves a
of
lot
bookable
faster.
calls to appointments.
But
Really?
it's somewhere
If
I
you're
call
not
home and
performing
that
at that
I finally
level,
get accepted.
or if you don't know, then text help to
So you just
855
mentioned the whole
963
transgender
2686.
situation
and receive
here.
a free
I
evaluation
talked
of
to you
your
on
store's
Clubhouse
performance.
a lot about this, and I learned a lot from you. Again, we hear, about LGBT, we hear about like gay, lesbians in the automotive industry. My daughter is part of the community. She's got a girlfriend. General Motors just invited her last month to Detroit to speak on a major panel for diversity and inclusion to like 4,000 General Motors dealerships. She's going to be an NADA convention speaker with LA Williams on diversity and inclusion. LA is going to be talking about inclusion and people with disabilities. And then Tiana Chanel is going to be talking about, just diversity and inclusion within the LGBT community. But there really isn't a lot of conversation about transgender and what that's like at dealerships. And, you were talking about something as simple as the different bathrooms. And, then you spoke to a dealer that was talking about like I'm so proud to know Damon Lester. Like I shout out to Damon Lester. He's the dealer principal of Nissan and Bowie, and he's the president of NAMAD. That's the National Association of Minority Automobile Dealers. And this brother is just top shelf classy. And he was like, D, I never even thought about that before.
Correct.
And, so can you speak about that? I want to steal your thunder.
Yeah, absolutely. So the biggest thing, it's kind of awesome because any typical person that walks in any kind of restaurant establishment, or even a dealership, right? I'm just stick it in the automotive world. When you go in the dealership, you always see like 2 bathrooms. It's either male, female, right? Some people have grown and stretched it out and to like family rooms and stuff like that. But the key word universal is big. So shout out to the dealer group I work at right now. They have a universal bathroom, right? So universal means everyone. And it makes it comfortable, whether you a female and you're trying to go into the female's restroom, but you can't get in there. So you go to the universal, but at least it's somewhere that, everyone is accepted, right? And when I was talking to Damon, I was telling him, I was like, yeah, he was like, I can't believe that. I said, yeah, you'd be surprised how something small like that makes someone so comfortable. And I'm not just talking about just an employee. It could be someone that's your customer. Someone is your next client or someone that is your service, in the automotive world, like someone that's your service customer. Just the fact of making someone feels comfortable in their own skin is the start of any type of great experience. So yeah, it's very big, but it seems so small but big. And, I challenge the dealers to kind of look at their facilities because you'd be surprised how many people that may not say a lot, but they may hurt in the inside for something like that.
You know what? I got to tell you, thank you, Dee, because a lot of us don't know what we don't know. You know what I mean? Like I have a blind friend. I have a bunch of gay and lesbian friends. But, when I was in the nightclub scene, I knew a lot of transgender and just very free spirited people. But in my automotive career, I think you were the only second. I remember there's transgender that was in Boston at Jack Madden Ford. Eva Kraus, was her name, and she identifies as a female, and so like, I think I'm pretty chill and pretty modern and stuff. Like I told you offline, like I love everybody equal and I hate everybody equally. I mean, like I don't judge anybody except for the character that you are. But it's like one of those things that make you go, like I never thought of that, because if it doesn't affect you every day, it's not that it's not important, but you just don't know what you don't know. And I just think that it's extremely courageous for you to be, like just very honest and there. Can I ask you some questions? Because I think I could ask you some shit because like I'm your friend. You know what I'm saying? Like, another person, you'd be like, what you say, man? You know what I mean? No, but I'm curious. All right, so we'll just keep it 100, man. Like, so like, do you get any shit from like salespeople or like people in the dealership being transgender or it's like, no.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, I can tell you this, it can be very uncomfortable at times, and you can be more accepted by the clientele than your own dealership family sometimes.
By the public. So the public,
right. The public can be more receptive than
more receptive.
Yeah, more receptive to you. Yeah, they can accept you. They accept you. Wow.
So the public is actually being more kind and respectful than your own people.
Can sometimes, absolutely. I've experienced both sides of the fence. So, and a lot of it got to do, I believe, with education. Because it's very. I'm going to tell you,
you got it difficult because on top of being, transgender, you're also Black, and you are in like what state are you in? Virginia. Okay, so can I ask you a question? Did you just say one day, like, fuck it, I'm going to just aggravate everybody. I'm going to turn around. I'm going to turn up in, like, I mean, it's not like you in New York or LA and shit, or San Francisco. You're in good old boy, like Virginia.
Right. And well, the good thing, I'll tell you this, it's crazy because 1.4 million people identify as transgender. And those are people, statistics say, that are open. Right. So just imagine if 1.4 that they can clock on the statistic that are open, how many people are not comfortable in their own skin? And just to think that there's only 11 states out here that actually accept transgender and diversity, like that is laws written across certain 11 states. And I challenge people, if you're listening to this podcast or you're watching this Zoom, do a little research. It's only 11 states that got laws out here that cannot discriminate. So out of the 11, so you're thinking like that, how many other states? And I'm in a state that can do whatever they want to do. So I'm just standing in my own skin and living my life like a normal individual.
Do you ever have anybody like there's one thing to, and none of it's acceptable to me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like being rude and disrespectful, especially for like who you are. Like I don't have any tolerance. You see me, I don't play. You know what I mean?
Right.
With people that are stupid, but do you ever have anybody be like more than disrespectful, like aggressive or threatening or anything like that to you? Do you ever feel not safe sometimes?
Well, it's not so much not feeling safe.
No, I'm not saying you're punking it like that.
But I don't feel safe sometimes.
Yeah, you say again?
Right, I get aggravated. I get aggravated with stupidity, right? Because people are just people. I put my pants on just like you. I put my shirt on just like you. I got an iPhone just like you. It's just people can be just ignorance, instead of just, like I tell people all the time, some people come to me with like, he, she, he. I be like, hey, you know what? It's all good. Just call me D. I don't want to confuse you. We just keep it moving. So, and it makes it easy. You just talk to somebody. Now, I know it's big right now in the world about the pronoun thing, and everybody's trying to, walk this road of respect. But, people are still people. You know, it don't matter.
It's exhausting though. Like honestly, like it's got.
Yeah, it is.
I was gonna say, it's like it's like you got to explain this shit over and over again. It's like, man, can I just live and do me? You know what I mean? Can I just be me? So I never thought of that.
Oh, I can tell you this though, but check this out. I did have one of my peers one time ask me. So, all right, example. And this is just me being transparent. So, I had to go to the bathroom one day, right? So the bathrooms were like mad full, right? So I was like, first of all, the female's bathroom is always the cleanest bathroom. I can tell you that. So I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna just go to the bathroom. So I went to the bathroom and came out. So when I came out the bathroom, I had one of my peers ask me one day, like, why you come out the women's bathroom? I was just like, it's a bathroom. Regardless what the label say, do the same thing you just about to go do. So, but yeah, so it just lets you know that, you know, I started to think like, how long you been thinking this? Like, because I did this more than one time. So, you know what I'm saying? I want to know, like, how long have you been, A, thinking this? B, you know, thank you for being, you know, finally, you know, sharing your thoughts. Because I'm an open book. I tell anybody. So I don't care if it's a dealer principal out there, it's a peer, you know. I even have friends in the group. Let me tell you how powerful, like, the education is. I got managers in the group that I talk to in our Millionaire Car Salesman group that are going through like changes with their kids. Oh, you know, so they'll call me for like, you know, some kind, you know, advice or any type of like my opinions on certain things. And I appreciate, you know, each and every one, that if we can make a difference in anybody's life, because my life wasn't the best growing up, but I learned to grow, you know, at 35 years old, I'm living in my own skin.
You're 35?
Yeah, bro, 35 look good. Thank you.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, you know.
No, that's right. How old is your daughter?
So, me and my partner, we have 2 kids. Our daughter's 24 and our son is 25.
Oh, so
she's 23, 25. Yeah.
Okay. So that was I forget, like, because I look at you look way younger than 35, and
it's
then
all good.
Yeah, but
and my wife is older too, you know.
Let me ask some more Sean Bradley questions though, because again, like I could ask these questions because they're my friend right here, for real. You know what I mean? So Dee, so what do you recommend? Is it something like, I'm curious, is it something where if you're at a dealership, do you like, as a transgender or even any part of the alphabet mafia like we talked about before, and tell them that was your word, like you said you like that.
Alphabet mafia, that's all what it
so
is.
I'm not throwing shots, like Dee says I like that phrase, you know what I mean? So again, I think Dave Chappelle was talking about the alphabet mafia before, right? But again, so is it like, if you're part of the LGBT community, and by the way, I got mad love. My daughter is proud representation of the LGBT community, my mother, LGBT community, my nephew, and everything like that. You know what I mean? So again, like, this is all family right here. So Dee, my question, like, legitimately is this: do you recommend that somebody, like, if they're coming to the organization or they just make the transition, do they, like, I'm not being stupid here, but like, do they make an announcement, like, you know, like not at a sales meeting, but like, yo, listen, I'm Dee, just like you just said, you're an open book. Do you recommend that it's like, do you want to bring attention to yourself and just get the 10,000 foot gorilla out of the way? Or do you want to just try to forget about it? But then, like, people, like, they're just wondering,
right?
So what's the right thing, you know, should happen? And then I'm gonna ask you a super dope question that nobody's ever asked you before. Answer that question.
So I would recommend this. The professional way to take care of it is, one, every organization has an HR. Okay. And if this is something that you find that you're at the point of your life that you're trying to express yourself and be comfortable in your own skin, I would recommend that you go to your human resources before you go to anyone else, because it is something that is a very sensitive subject across the world. And you want to make sure that you go through the proper channels, not only to protect you, but protect everybody else from their own self. So one thing that I did when any organization, and the day that I found that I want to live comfortable in my own skin, and that's what, prior to the automotive world, I made sure that upon hire, now me, that's just D, okay? But upon hire, I told them in the interview, I wanted to see the first impression, because, you know, first impression is the last impression. So I definitely, you know, brought that up in the interview. And, you know, so if I was, you know, to accept the offer, that the proper channels are in place. I can say the difference in, organizational management, and because of the stuff I experienced in the past on how the situation was, how the subject was handled, because most corporate organizations like to have meeting with their level of leadership. And from the level of leadership, they normally will come to the individual and ask them how they wanted to be, explained or addressed, right? In my current dealership right now, they actually, address me as the pronoun, the male pronoun, but, I think it'd be stressing them out more than anything. So I just be like, yo, just say D, but I do respect the fact that if they do have to slip up, they do, immediately, apologize, and they do correct themselves.
Okay, now here's a real cool question, because there's a lot of super cool people, especially older people, that this shit is new, you know what I mean, to them,
right?
And they're not exposed to it. So break it down. How could you talk to other people in the dealership if they're curious and they want to be friends with you, but they don't even know how to approach you or talk to you or have a conversation, not just to you, but to other transgender people or people part of the LGBT community? I mean, because somebody might be curious, like you said, damn, like, I'm glad you were able to say something, because that's been on your mind for a while. What is your advice to everybody else if they are working with or around transgender, people, you know what I mean? And people are just people, but again, it seems that we have to teach people how to act. So let's break it down. What's the proper way to ask a question without being rude or like, excuse me, I want to ask something, and you're acting all freaking weird. I mean, like, just what advice do you have to somebody just to have a conversation? If they're curious, what's the polite way and respectful way to have a conversation without HR? Just like, if I'm in the lot or I'm on the floor, I'm not, you know what I mean? Like, I just want to have a conversation with you, but I might like, I don't know what to say, how to say it, but damn. And especially, you know what I mean? Yo, let's keep it real. You're selling cars like candy bars. You're crushing it. You know what I mean? So like, if I was on the floor and I got like 8 cars out, I'd be like, I don't give a fuck what flavor this person is. Like, I want to learn what the hell, they're doing, but they might feel kind of weird or silly or like uncomfortable. So break it down for the people. How can they, reach out and have a conversation respectfully to you or to the community?
Well, I will always say this, and it doesn't matter what you want in life or where you're trying to get or the information you're trying to find. Always ask permission. That's it. Ask permission. We ask the customer permission, to buy the car. Just ask permission for the conversation, because at least it lets both parties know, where your conversation is going. I wouldn't just speculate, you know what I'm saying? Because if you're not educated or you don't really know the person, you might, you might start a trigger or something. But ask them if they're comfortable to, hey, I got a couple questions. Just was curious about, is it okay if we have a peer-to-peer conversation, or, manager to sales pro, you know what I'm saying? Something like that. But if it's something that, that person, if the other party that is in the life gets uncomfortable, A, recognize that. B, if you get uncomfortable, you recognize that, and it may not be a conversation that need to be had, or it could be a mediated one. I've had mediated conversations before.
Okay.
But it's all about their comfort level and respect. If you're a jerk to the person without even knowing anything about them, please don't go to them and be like, yo, can you tell me how you became like this? They're not going to respect you. Treat every individual as you would treat yourself.
No, I appreciate this. And Dee, I don't want to turn this into the LGBT show, because you're so much more than your orientation. You know what I mean? But I also wanted to take advantage of the fact, you know what I mean, that you are honestly a very open person, and you're very articulate, you know what I'm saying? And again, like you said, like, just think about that. Like, in Clubhouse, in the Millionaire Car Salesman Group, you've got managers and senior executives that are talking to you, you know what I mean, trying to deal with stuff with their kids. And Dee, I hope you know you're influencing a lot of people in a positive way. When you've got the president of the National Minority Dealer Association that's got 1,200 rooftops and he owns his own dealership, and he's saying, man, thank you so much. I never thought of this. I never thought of that. And man, I you know, because he's Mr. Diversity and you know, he's the president of NAMAD, and he didn't even know. I mean, think about that for a second. This brother is probably one of the most incredibly kind and altruistic people I've met in the automotive industry. And he didn't even know. And he was like turned up like, yo, I didn't even thought of that, you know? So this is important. That's why, and it's funny, I'm going to be very authentic with our audience. I had a conversation with Dee right before we went live. And I said, okay, how do we want to do this? Do we want to just talk about, because you sell cars like candy bars, we could just turn on and talk about your tips and advice, or we could turn around and talk a little about, you know, just the whole LGBT situation and what that's like in the industry. And I love the natural flow of this. You know what I mean? I love how we're getting to have real conversation, but if it's okay with you, I want to get back into the car stuff. Can we do that?
Hey, I'm cool with that.
All right, let's get into it. So Dee, you know, you've only been in the industry for, you said like a little bit less than 4 years, around 4 years. Correct. Or so. How long did it take you to break, you know, the 25 car mark?
Probably about when I was able to live. I'm gonna say that because when I started off in the industry, I was on, you know, I basically be transparent. When I started off in the industry, I came from an hourly wage. I came from an hourly wage, right? And basically from an hourly wage, I basically had to convince my management staff that I can do it. And I had some cool managers that saw my potential and vouched for me to be on a commission structure. And from there, it was just like lightning to a street. I became Bolt. And the cool thing about it is when you have someone that, you know, believes in you, and then you can turn around and keep believing in yourself, yo, you're like limitless. So and it took me like 4 months.
So like, how long were you in the industry? 4 months, 1 year? Like, how long was before you went from like, you know, basic to 25 cars?
So basically what happened was when I first got in the industry, per my pay plan at that time, I only had to sell like 6 cars. And then when I got from 6 cars,
just bottom line, how long did it take?
Like 4 months, bro.
Okay, okay, good. So then here's what I care about. That is unreal. Okay, that is amazing. National average, even before the pandemic and the inventory crisis, was only 9.6 units. The average salesperson at a 16,537 rooftops only sells 9.6 cars. That means that again, you know, at like 19 cars, you're doing 100% better than there. So you are 150% higher volume and probably about 175% higher gross than the average salesperson. And you did that ish in 4 months. How did you turn around after people have been selling cars for 100 years plus now, legitimately, you know what I mean? Like, that's how long ago horse and buggies were there. How did you manage to do what the vast majority of the population in our industry wasn't being able to do? So tell us some of your Dee Penn secrets.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Did you know 40% of service calls go to voicemail or hang up?
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system.
How many times does it take for your customers to connect with someone at your store?
The world may never know.
Unless you have CallSource customers connect with 96% of their clients' calls and convert over 85% of bookable calls to appointments. Really? If you're not performing at that level, or if you don't know, then text HELP to 855-963-2686 and receive a free evaluation of your store's performance.
So one, if you're new to a dealership, you always find the top sales guy. I found the top sales guy. I kind of, you know, shadow from afar.
Why is it gotta be a top sales guy? Why is it gotta be a guy?
Hold up. Don't start it. But it's top sales guy or gal. You know, anything with the G, okay? But listen, so I found them at my dealership at that time. It was a guy. year after year. And, I just got curious. So I just started, I asked permission. I started asking questions, right? And what he didn't understand is that he was writing the recipe to me dethroning him. So I just paid attention. And not only now don't think it's just the top salesperson or professional in your dealership. I also looked at everybody else. And I learned from everybody. I sat with everybody. I looked at the good, the bad, what was getting results, what was being complacent, what, the guy that comes to look at the paper every day, you know what I'm saying? Gets off at 5 o'clock, you're like, I'm gone. Been doing this 40 years, and you got, people across the industry, like you look in the Millionaire Car Salesman Group, and you see that person that get hat trick after hat trick, or you see the one that says, how can I do this? So you just take all of that and you throw it in a bucket, you shake it up, and you take the good out the good, and you don't do the bad. And that's one secret. Second secret is...
Whoa, slow down. Slow down.
Okay.
You're killing them. Let's talk about this for a second. That is super dope what you just said, because I've been on tour this last week. I've literally trained hundreds and hundreds of people in the dealerships, and I was just at the NAMAC conference. So I've been in 5 states in about 8 days, like for real. And I just talked about this, Dee, that I asked these people in the room, they said they're automotive professionals. So I'm like, all right, who's the number one salesperson in the country? Name the top 3. They had no clue. So I'm like, how could you be a baller? How could you play basketball and you don't know?
I can name them like this.
There you go. Exactly. How do you not know who Michael Jordan is, or who LeBron James is, or who any of these ballers are? If you're going to ball and be really a pro baller, you need to know who could ball, who's got a hoop game, who could turn around and slam dunk, who got the 3-point, who got the swish. And so I love what you said, though. And you started locally and you went, digitally. What I mean by that is, think about that. That's so smart. Shakespeare said, show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are.
Tell you who you are.
Chris Saraceno is the author of The Theory of 5. You are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most amount of your time with. And I think that's very strategic. So for everybody in podcast land and the Millionaire Car Salesman Group, this was a very fire nugget, boom, boom, bust some shots, blah, blah. You know what I mean? That's some Belizean shots right there. I mean, like that's on target, D. Find whoever is the absolute best person, the highest on the board. You're not the person that's been there the longest. Who makes the most money? Who makes the most gross? Who's got the highest CSI? Who's, the biggest in the community? Who's got the most referrals? And what's crazy is, like, I like what you said too. It's not just the one person, because if you just find the salesman of the month or the salesman of the year, or whatever that is, they might be good at a couple things, but it's really good to see what other people are good at, because even the number one person on the board might be great at a couple of things, and they're so good at it, it makes them being able to sell 25, 30 plus cars, or whatever it is. But even the 30 car person might suck at referrals, or might suck at leasing, or might suck at something else. So it's really good to try to find, almost like mixed martial artists, right? You want to find the different things. And I'm going to lean into the mic on this one. I love what you said, that you listen to everybody, because as Jay-Z said it, and I don't care if he didn't say it first, he said it the best, is even a broken clock is right twice a day, which means you can learn what not to do from these suckers that are on the floor, these lames that are bitching, whining, complaining, called the wambulance. They're calling the what wambulance, because they rather bitch and complain instead of putting that work in. So D, I love that. That is so strong. And then you took it to another level, D. You turned on and said, and then I'm in the Millionaire Car Salesman Group. I'm listening to the Millionaire Car Podcast. I'm on Google. I'm in Clubhouse in the Millionaire Car Salesman Room, because you wanna have access to these tens of thousands of automotive professionals, dealers, managers, owners. And like you said, the people that are online that are posting hat trick after hat trick after hat trick, or deal.
Reach out to them.
Hell yeah, explain that. So how many people have you reached out to through social media?
All right, so check this out, y'all. Who's the number one car salesman in the world right now? Cody Carter. Y'all better get on sell with Cody. Sell like Cody, man.
Sell like Cody.com. Sell like Cody.com.
I'm telling y'all, that's a resource. But the good thing about it is you reach out to them. You pick their brains. Like, I talk to Cody like at least like once a week. Now, I earned that right, in that relationship. But you gotta go after what you're looking for, right? And I'm gonna throw something out there, Sean, that's probably gonna blow everybody's mind, because we got some people in the dealership sometimes that don't get enough credit, but you gotta find an accountability partner. So let me explain that. So accountability partner, right? accountability partner can come from different levels. My particular accountability partner is the managers. Because if I can get them to hold me accountable, guess who else is holding themselves accountable? The managers.
Ooh.
So finding yourself an accountability partner is big, because you have to have someone to check you sometimes. And when I mean check you to the next level, because as long as you're producing, you're on target to make your results are going to be made all the way around the board. So I would definitely say find your accountability partner. And it don't necessarily got to be the manager. It could be the peer that you have your daily conversation with, somebody that can motivate you. Shoot, at one point, depending on the week, my accountability partner could be the service tech, the one that's working hard and busting, turning the clock. Because if I see him, slinging a hammer, every time I'm walking through the service department saying good morning, everybody, and I might see them and I'll be like, dang, he was already here before the store opened.
D, you're speaking fire, because you know that my wife, Karina, she's NASM certified. I'm going somewhere with this, right. The National Academy of Sports Medicine. She's actually a personal trainer, nutritionist, and, weight loss specialist and a life coach. But, even though I have her and she could tell me what to do, I still have like a level 4 personal trainer that I do 2 or 3 days a week personal training with my son, because the accountability, like I know what to do and I could go to Wifey or I could turn around and get a video, but having somebody there motivating. Let's think about this for a second. In the military, they call cadence, they go, you know what I'm saying? Like lift, right, lift. And then they're like, I don't know what I've been told. I mean, like they call cadence so that you can turn around and be in rhythm and in step. In college crew, the rowing, there's somebody on the damn boat that says row, row, row. You know what I mean? Like you've got that cadence, you've got that person that's helping you keep accountable for your strides and for your momentum. So I think that having not only accountability partner, but a commitment buddy or whatever you want to call it. But again, whether that's a trainer, consultant, or that's people or peers in the group, but somebody that's going to be ride or die with you. And to my point, I'll give you an example. I have the personal trainer, but like on the off days, me and my soon to be 14-year-old, my son, Sean, the sequel, right? The Sean Beak the Bradley, the sequel, like little Sean, me and him, like tonight, we just went to the gym and we worked out pretty damn hard, and I didn't want to go and he didn't want to go, but we were there together because we're committed towards it. So I think that's another big nugget. Blah, blah. Some more Belize and shots.
Right. So the last third one I'm going to give to folks, right? So it's like a 2-part, right? Ooh. So yeah, 2-part. So the last one I'm going to say is this: do not take the least path of resistance and be coachable. And that's for every level.
Explain.
So least path of resistance, right? If I give it the road to the sale, I'm a big stickler to following the process, right? And even if I get, thrown around the corner, I'm still going back to the main road. Follow your process and follow the correct process, because behavior plus practice equals results. I learned that from a manager in the retail world a long time ago. And without one of the two in the equation, you'll never get the equal. What's behind the equal? Behavior plus practice equals results. So if you follow your process, you'll always get the results. I can tell you. So at my bare minimum, I can roll 18 cars, no issue, right? My opportunity now is getting to that next level, right? But because I have the behaviors in place, I know that's like my minimum wage, 18 cars. Right. So having that and being coachable meaning when you get feedback, whether you like it or not, you just gotta, take it in and evaluate and let the world go round. Right. And just look at, what's provided. I could tell you this, Sean give me feedback all the time, whether I want to hear it or not. But at the same time, though, I look at it from a global perspective, like, hey, you know what? Before I even, jump into my feelings, maybe it's something that he saw that I can't see outside of myself, right? Or anybody that you look up to or admire, always be coachable, right? Because you have to, that's going to get you to the next level. Either A, somebody is seeing something they wish they could have did a long time ago, or B, somebody is really great at what they're doing and they just want you to keep excelling.
Man, I got to tell you, Dee, I'm really loving this interview today. You have so much knowledge and wisdom. There's something that you didn't touch on though, and I want you to talk about this because part of your success, and then we're going to start winding down, is the experience, the customer experience. So explain what the difference between customer experience and customer service is.
All right, so cool. So this is something I'm very passionate about. Customer experience is basically a part of somebody's journey, but customer service is a part of somebody's journey. But customer experience is the feelings and the emotions someone has when it comes to you and the brand, right? It's a whole different feeling. So, example, I came from a Ford store. That's why I started. I had my biggest success and biggest break. Currently, right now, I'm at a Chevrolet store, and nothing has changed. It's a different brand, but the experience is the same. And one thing you'll know, if you make everything personable, and you personalize everything you do with your clients in front of you, they're clients for life. You ever heard of the word lifer? Well, I aim for that every time. When I have interactions with individuals, when they think automotive or they think car or they think anything that has to do with a vehicle, I want them to think Dee Penn. Call me first. Example, I'll give you a perfect example. I had a client today give me a call, right? She sent me a text. And, she was running late for an oil change. Well, I set expectation every time in the experience that I want my people to call me first. Granted, she set her own oil change up, right? And she was running late. So she literally, and I want to read this verbatim because this is very important for people to understand the context of this. But she actually said to me today, she said, "Hey, Dee, hope all is well. I messed up big time this morning. I thought my oil change was next Monday, and apparently it was this morning in a couple minutes. Is there anything you could do for me?" Right? I respond, "Hey, you know what? I'm glad you reached out to me first. Have you got a hold of the service advisor to see if they can fit you in?" She was like, "No, I reached out to you first." That lets you know the point right there. So after getting her straight, she still was able to get her oil changed in the day because of the relationship that I have with the service department. So you want to have relationships around your whole entire dealership. Just don't come to work, clock in and sit at your desk and watch Netflix. You want to talk to people and get to know people. But at the same time, though, that's the experience, right? I sold this customer a year ago. So, and she's still following me, right? So that's the biggest thing that you guys got to remember. You want to take, with your interactions every moment. Like I look at it like if this is the last opportunity that I had to sell a vehicle or have an interaction, not a transaction, an interaction, then I want them to always think about me.
You know what's amazing, Dee, is whenever I do these interviews, I just get so much from so many people. Like, people say that I wow, Sean is, no, it's because I talk to people like you. I talk to so many people and try to find the success variable, the success gene, if you will. What do you love about our industry so much?
The opportunity to touch so many lives and help someone and be a true guide. And what I mean by guide them to the next level, whether it's conversation, whether it's finding out something, whether it's just being a friend, being a listener, because if you can make a friend in 5 minutes in this industry, you're limitless. Like you will have the best career ever. Just finding the aspect of caring. And that's one thing this industry allows me to do, is allow me the opportunity to care more about people that didn't care about me in the past.
Are you proud of being a car salesman?
Absolutely, man. I'm selling cars for the rest of my life. I don't care what position I'm at.
Who are you telling? I got my daughters, I got my nephew, I just got my brother just started to be like, man, I'm about this car life. And so right. I love, talking to other car people. And Dee, I'm going to say this like live on the air, in the group and in the podcast. I am proud that we're friends. I really, I really enjoy our conversations. You're hilarious. You know what I mean? and again, you got comfortable with me, which some people don't and stuff like that, because I'm Sean Bradley. But yeah, we're cool.
I don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to check you like you check me.
and you ain't scared to check nobody. So it's
You
funny.
already know.
Yeah, no, but real recognize is real. So that's good. And that's at the end of the day, what I like about you, Dee, and I've never said this out loud to even you, what I like a lot about you is, you know how you hear that phrase, you live your truth? Not only are you living your truth in your own skin, but like how you are, meaning like as far as just a person and very open and not shy and just living that, you do that with someone like me. Like to you, you're like, I'm Dee Penn. What? You're Sean Bradley. I respect that, but respect me. I'm Dee Penn. And that's how life should be. Like people, nobody's better than anybody. And quite contrary to most people's belief, I might be loud and this and that, but man, I have mad love and mad respect in my heart. And I know damn well that I'm not better than anybody. I might be a better salesperson, a better closer. I'm just kidding. But as far as just a human being, like we're all just people. And what I like about you, Dee, is that you treat me like a regular person, meaning that so many people are coming at me for fucking, like, I'm FEMA, the Red Cross, I'm Gandalf, the wizard and shit. Like people think I can magically make their lives change. You know what I mean? Or I'm Sean Bradley, I'm this, I'm that. And we're just cool. We're just, just my people. So that's my big brother right there. That's my little brother. We just vibe.
Right.
And again, I'm proud we're friends, and I'm proud that you're in this industry. And I mean that because I love this industry. Like everybody knows, you can say whatever.
This industry changed lives. I tell anyone, if you can get in this industry, it is changing lives.
Yo, can I just tell you, like on a financial level, I'm proud of my young boy, my nephew, Dylan. Shout out to Dylan, Robinson. D-Rob got your key fob out of Patriot Buick GMC in Gilbertsville, Pennsylvania. I mean, this kid was 19 years old. He's been like this year is about to be over.
I know.
I know that Dylan broke $100,000. He broke six figures his first year in this business. He went from making 12. He went from making $12 an hour. He had a hat trick, on Saturday. Sold 3 cars on Saturday.
Shout out to Dylan.
Shout out to D-Rob got your key fob. There you go.
There you go. But it's amazing, Sean. People don't understand. Like, let me tell you, and this is just personal, but I could be transparent. I did a whole dealer swap in the middle of the year, and I still hit 6 figures at the current dealership that I'm at. So it is. What do
and
you
the other dealership's
say?
chasing you back, and the other dealership's chasing you back.
But the good thing is, what do you always say? This is an industry that you can earn as much.
Make as much money. No, make
as much money as you want to earn, and that is what I live by every day. It's what you put in it is what you're going to get out. You go to work and you want to be a slot, you're going to have slot pockets. If you go to work and be like, yo, I'm going to figure this out, you never know. You might bump into a customer that make your day. And guess what? You might also find your networking tool that can also take you to the next level. So last key, I'm going to tell everybody, when you have your interactions and not your transactions, at the end of the day in your experience, ask that person just to send you one.
Yo, if you didn't get any knowledge and value from this, you're lying. You're lying. Rewind the podcast because this shit is fire today. Now I'm feeling myself. It's the end of the year right now. My daughter's birthday, Kalina's birthday is on December 23rd. She's going to be 21 years old. 21, baby. You know what I mean? So my daughter's going to be 21. And she's at RK Chevrolet, Kia, and Subaru in Violin, New Jersey, representing the RK.
Shout out to K.
Yep. Okay, Kalina, and then again, happy holidays, man. Like, what do you got planned for the holidays? This is live right now in the group, but it'll podcast.
Oh man, so I got my partner her first 9-foot tree. I've been holding on to the 6-foot tree for a long time. It ain't broke, so I ain't fixing it. But we got a beautiful 9-foot tree. We got our pets. We got the family. Is
it a real tree or artificial tree?
Man, it's still artificial.
Oh, good. Me too.
I gotta pack it up and use it too again.
My wife's Puerto Rican, so you understand. Like the other year, she had a pink tree, and I'm like,
we gotta change. We ain't trying to chop no tree. I'm just trying to make it look good every year.
Y'all from Queens and Brooklyn. Listen to me, but pink ain't gangster. Yo, I'm just telling you right now. Having a pink tree as a grown ass man. You know what I mean?
I got pink on my tree right now, bro. Don't call me out. So, but happy holidays, whatever anybody celebrates. Just enjoy family. Life is too short. What we say, we got 84 seconds. 86,400 seconds in a day. Average
Use
person only lives 76 summers.
You sound like you've been talking to somebody really smart. You've been talking to somebody really smart.
KB, no, I'm joking.
No, she's way smarter than me.
But for
you know why she's smarter than me? Because she chose me. That's how smart she is.
But no, for real, y'all, just live your life. Live your life in your truth. Live your happiness, because we never know when our day is going to come. So just make sure that you out there doing everything that you want to do in that day, and make sure it has some meaning behind it. All right, Batman.
Oh, you see this? I'm sitting here like with a real. Yo, check this out, people. And I'm not even drinking. I'm serious. I have a soda. I have a root beer. So I'm just having fun right now. For the people that don't know, like, I am a Batman freak. If somebody gave me these, so these are real Batman. Like, they're not Chinese stars. These are batarangs or something like that. But these are like throwing like stuff. But these are real. So anyway, I got the Batman in the back, and Dee just called me out. So I had it. Like, I ain't shy. But listen, check this out though. For real. Dee, how do people get a hold of you? Because I'm sure people in the podcast like, damn, this dude is like legit. So how do people reach you?
And I got Instagram. So simple. car_sales_Dee Penn, just a letter DPNN. Shoot, if you're in the group, just send me a message. I pay attention. But if you're talking that nonsense, I might catapult you. I'm gonna just let you know.
Because you're a moderator. You got the moderator power.
I'm a group expert. So listen. So y'all make sure just reach out, ask a question. Like I said, I work every day like you, so it might not be right now. So have patience, but I do get back and we do follow up. There's a lot of people that I follow personally, and just we all got to take care of each other. It's not enough people taking care of people. Follow and help each other. But reach out to me either on the Messenger, Instagram if you're following me. Shoot, hit me up on ridewithdee.com. I know you're not a car sale, but if you can't remember anything and that's the closest thing, just reach out to me, because I better you ask a question, because no question is a dumb question unless you don't ask.
So you are obviously hugely active in the Millionaire Car Salesman Facebook group. You're going to be on the Millionaire Car Salesman podcast. You are huge on Clubhouse with us in the Millionaire Car Salesman room, the morning motivation, inspiration conversation. And Dee, we didn't talk about it. You're going to be a featured speaker and panelist at the Internet Sales 20. Yo, how hyped are you about the IS-20?
Yo, man, I'm going to get to be with those top 3 friends that people don't really, y'all should need to do some research. But yeah, man, I get to sit alongside Chrissy, Cody Carter, a lot of the high value management squad out here, like Roy, the Wolf Davila, Joe, the Parachute Man, the Wolf.
Joe Kalitz, you know what I mean?
Yep.
We got Kevin
I'm gonna
Curtis.
see Damien.
Yeah,
and I get to see
Karen from
Seth
Canada.
Ferrante.
Oh,
Karen from Karen from Beyond.
Karen from Beyond.
but I get to be with LA. I got to be with Young Jedi. I get to be with a lot of key people that y'all see active in our group, and that's a resource to us. So listen, if you haven't went to IS-20G and got your ticket, shoot, Sean, hold on. Ain't you giving out scholarships, bro?
Yeah, no, listen, like I had an epic year. Like, we made like ridiculous. We broke records for sales, customer satisfaction, employee retention, employee satisfaction. Like, it's just insane. You know what I mean? Like, yes. So I'm giving scholarships out, you know what I mean? Like crazy. So again, just go to internetsales20group.com. You could DM us right here in this live stream in the comments. And Dee's a moderator, so Dee will follow up and give you a scholarship. It includes breakfast, lunch, and dinner, the VIP party. Yo, let's talk about hold on.
Yo,
tell me about
let's go back to this.
The premiere.
Go back to this though. The premiere was great, but let me tell y'all how I got started. It was a freaking scholarship, so y'all better jump on it. Yo, and let me tell you, that changed my life. When you hold your hand up and you step up and you speak out, yo, this is life-changing. This is the hugest resource that we have in the automotive SVB. You know what I'm saying? So the good thing is, and he the network king, y'all. He's the network king. People that you always wanted to meet and see. Shoot, I just be like, yo, Sean, you know this person? Can I see him? Can I ask him a question? Ask him a question for me. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, though, if you got the opportunity to to do something to actually invest in yourself. Because remember, no one's going to get you to the next level but truly you. So regardless of what's in front of you. So just remember that. But yo, that premiere though, if y'all didn't catch my live feed, you better Google it in the group because it was dope. And I'm excited for IS20G. Shoot, I remember, still watching your conferences on YouTube. So the yacht party you had back in the day, I felt like I was there. Yeah. So it's like, and I was just a little, little weeby thing up in the automotive world, right? But the good thing is, it's going to be full of information. You're going to have somebody there, I think you said, from Facebook. You're going to have somebody, man, you're going to have the head
of Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, Meta, Bob Lanham's going to be speaking. The head of Pinterest is going to be there for the automotive industry. You don't even, we have a lot of dealer principals and GMs. We have the chief operating officer of like a $20 billion dealer group that's going to be there. The president of NAMAD is going to be there, but we have the top salespeople, the top managers. We're in the number one venue in all of Philadelphia. It's the brand new, most gorgeous luxury hotel, which is the Live Casino Hotel. It's the only second casino ever in Philadelphia, and it's gorgeous. And Dee, I just made the announcement, the VIP party is at the number one nightclub in Philadelphia, freaking industrial underground nightclub called Ave Live. We have Pat Poos, who's got a major, and I'm going to break some news right now for you guys. Check this out. First of all, Pat's been in the game for like 20 years. Like he's like a legend, but he's blown up like crazy. Right now, he's got a track with Lil Wayne that's got over 10 million views. He's got like 4.3 million views in the last month on YouTube alone, and another 6 or 7 million views between like Spotify, SoundCloud, Reverb Nation, and then World Star Hip Hop. Like it's crazy, but I don't know if you know this, Dee. The song with him and Lil Wayne is on fire right now, but on December. Oh yeah,
that's my theme song. I listen to that.
Listen, morning. You don't know. Listen, let me break some knowledge down to you. But like, do you know what's happening on December 31st? The remix is coming out. I thought I was going to stop with Busta Rhymes, 2 Chainz, and I think Remy Ma as well. So it's going to be crazy.
I'm ready.
So that's going to be, and then we have an undefeated UFC fighter, Sean Brady, 15-0. He's going to be performing. I'm just not performing. He's going to be doing not performing. He's going to be like signing autographs and, doing meet and greets and the photo ops. Then we have multiple TV stars that are going to be there. Multiple movie stars are going to be there. One of our friends, DJ Verrett, he's an actor on Sons of Anarchy, NCIS, and Wizards of Waverly Place. And he just landed a major movie deal, and he's going to be shooting in February, right after IS20G. So, man, it's
just going to be people there. That's the point, y'all. What he trying to say, y'all need to get there because D going to be there. And even though I'm on the speaker panel, I'm more excited just to pick these people's brains and see how they get to their level. So it's not just about automotive because a lot of these people that he's talking about ain't in the automotive world, but it's a lot of key nuggets I'm sure that they're going to drop, and I'm going to bring it back, and I'm going to just take 2022 to the another level. So, yo, appreciate you, Sean, man, for just even having this space for us. It's amazing.
Okay, well, listen, it's my pleasure. It's 11 p.m. I gotta go and be like a daddy to my pugs right now. They need some love from daddy. You know what I'm saying? Wonton and Daisy Ming. So let me go. But D, you got to check the comments, D. Like I'm getting DMs that people say that this live stream is fire. Like we got a bunch of comments on the thread.
I appreciate it.
Yes,
appreciate y'all.
Yo, look, for real, look, check it out. Like I just got James Steele. Shout out to James. James is like, look at that. What does it say right there? Look,
thanks, man. I appreciate you.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's just an amazing live, bro. Love it. Yo, shout out to James. Shout out to all of our tribe, and we growing. I'm telling you right now, like Babe Ruth, I'm pointing at the fences. 2022 is our year. You know that's my queen's favorite number is 22.
Of course.
So so 22. This is the year of Karina and the orange tie guy, SVB, in the place to be. So I'm out.
Hey, make sure y'all know we got 21,400 or so people in this Millionaire Car Salesman group, right? Yo, we trying to hit numbers. So just give me one, all right? Find somebody that can use this information. Hit us up, get them in, send them an invite because it's important that we just take care of each other in this family. MCS all day.
Absolutely. Take care.
So there you have it, the Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast. This podcast comes to you every week from the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. If you have a question about the show or would like the chance to become a guest, feel free to contact us directly at 856-546-2440 or email us at millionairecarsalesman@gmail.com. This program is a presentation of Synergy Records, produced by Tiana Mick and L.A. Williams. Production and engineering by L.A. Williams. The Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast is hosted every week by L.A. Williams and the Millionaire Car Salesman himself, Sean V. Bradley. The Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast can be found everywhere, so please don't forget to review, subscribe to, and share the show. Thanks for listening to the Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast, and remember, where I'm from, money provides options. The Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast is sponsored in part by AutoWeb and Call Review. If you enjoyed this podcast, then make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and leave us a review. Let some other folks know about it. Oh, and don't forget to join the Millionaire Car Salesman Group on Facebook. We'll see you there.